Lastly, is he fit yet? And Andy Robertson, how far away?
Yeah, Robo still needs more range in his shoulder. So obviously it was a big surgery, and still not even close to team training or whatever. Can do a lot, everything without using the arm properly, which is obviously good. But on the outside, it shows us we still have it's a long way to go. So for sure, I think full January he has to get closer and closer. Maka, we will see what he can do today. So that's if he can step into team training or not. The decision is not done yet. It's pretty early, and the dog is not here. Maybe he's here, but I didn't see him yet. So we will see.
When we were talking about type of contenders at the start of the season, it was easy to look at the defensive record last season and say Liverpool would struggle to mount a type of challenge. But you're top of the table now, and you've got the best defensive record in the Premier League. You've conceded 2 fewer goals than Arsenal. What has made the difference for you this season so far?
The general defending, obviously, that's how it is. Yeah, that's it pretty much. So everybody buys into the way we have to work, into how we have to work. That's not that the team last year didn't do that. It's just after all the years, maybe it's always a problem if you lose too many balls in moments where you don't expect it. Probably, but how many goals did we concede? 16, 15, 16. Probably 8 or 9 out of them were after we lose the ball and are a bit exposed. So that's how it is, and that obviously was last year even more a problem. Because it's really difficult to prepare for these situations. You try to dominate a game, and in the moment you lose it, you are in different positions, and so that's why sometimes you can get caught. We do better now. Recently, we stepped up counter pressing wise, which helps as well. That means everybody reacts better, front line, midfield line, and the last line obviously as well. If you feel that the midfield and front three or how many are really involved in counter pressing, you can have a higher line because then you are in challenges and then you cannot skip balls just behind you and all this kind of things. So plenty of things. It's we worked obviously a lot on it, but we did that last year as well, and so it's just the effort everybody puts in.
Last night, most people expected that Arsenal would beat West Ham United, and I think you probably go into this game against Newcastle with the expectation that you will beat Newcastle, given their recent run of form. They've won just 1 in 8 in all competitions, lost back-to-back against Luton and Forest as well. At the same time, given the quality within that Newcastle squad, what do you expect from them as well?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's a privilege of you and probably also personal well to just have expectation before other teams are playing. I don't have that. I just watch the game if I have time, and then I don't think they will win, they will lose, stuff like this. It's football. I'm too long in the business to not know that everything can happen, and you can lose a game with 30 shots or with 34 or whatever. And you can draw these kind of games as well. So that's all possible, and that's why these games last night or whenever they happen, they have nothing to do with our game against Newcastle. Look, Newcastle did incredibly well, and I'm pretty sure that it's unlucky that you have that amount of injuries, but then on top of that you have you play international football, which they didn't play now 50 times in a row. So that's the whole system has to get used to that. And I mean the system of the players, it's completely different. If you have a normal training week, or if you have pretty much only recovery and have to go again for a big game. Premier League games are all big, Champions League games are all big. So that's just a little bit, was for sure a little bit a problem. But they still do really well, and they have in all the games they lost, they had really good spells. It's not the games I saw, and the analysis only starts now, really. The games that I saw, they had really good spells. They have a really good idea. But at one point they had to play. Eddie had to play too often the same lineup. Definitely, that's clear. With all these games, and the boys did incredibly well. I think he said that as well. Yes, really. Give credit to the players the effort they put in. But it was pretty much the same lineup for a long time. And then the guys who play all the time get tired, and the guys who come back have no rhythm. So we had that situation plenty of times. But now they have 5-6 days like we had between the games, and it will help both teams. Definitely, we played 5 games in 13 days. It's absolutely insane as well. It's we came somehow through that, but now it's about using that extra recovery time, because the next games are then, because we are still in all cup competitions. That means we have a busy January as well. Other teams probably have a lesser busy January, which is then helpful. And then we all have to get through that as well. And then from February on, we all have the same schedule again. And then we will see.
Morning, Jürgen. This is obviously the first game of the new year, but after the first game of this year, you were 6th, 15 points off the top. How much happier are you now with the team, the squad, and the prospects of success?
6 times happier. I can't even remember. Who did we play? Oh, we lost that. We were 6 for a few minutes over, and then probably 7 or 8 after that game. Yeah, horrible time last year. Same time, pretty much. Yeah, no, it feels better, no doubt about that. How I said, I like a lot of things we did. But it's not that we really think too much about it. It's just and when I say I'm not happy, I'm okay. I'm not sure that sounds positive enough, but it is really positive. It's just so early. That's all. And we had a lot of good spells in games where we didn't win, or we had lesser good spells in games we won, and these kind of things. So it's a process, and this team is in the middle of something, and we just try to make the best of it, to deal with different situations. We spoke about injuries other teams had. We had a lot of injuries. We had some players that were not once involved in the whole season, which key players for us, and are now without key players for us. Both left backs are not in, which is really not good. And so all these kind of things. But so far we found a way to get into the next game, and there we are then. We found a way to compete in that game. And when that we said, and how it started with the defensive record, and it's not a record, it's it's important, but it's not what we have in our mind. But agreeing again on that, all starts with defending. We are not desperate. We were a little bit desperate against United, to be 100% honest, in that game. It developed into that, in that game. We had so many chances and we got desperate. That makes no sense, but it can happen. But in general, we are not desperate. We are, because we don't think we concede all the time, and then we have to score immediately. Even though we conceded quite a lot of times the first goal, but even in these moments we didn't get desperate. That's really important, and that's what we said in the beginning. We have to develop as a team, but some of the things that happened to us, they were not cool in the moment, but they helped us to grow together, and that was what happened. So far, it's okay. I can't say more. It's obviously better to be first than sixth, but both gives you a lot of work to do for the rest of the season.
You mentioned it's a busy time in terms of January as well. So how important is the return of Jota?
Super important. The return of each of the boys is super important, but Diogo especially, when everybody was quite positive about our 5 options, I don't think we had it that often. To be honest, it was like up front there, and obviously it really, especially with the amount of games we played, it's so important that these boys can rotate as well in between them. And now, obviously, with Mo leaving and Endo leaving, we need everybody to get back. And if Maka could be back for Newcastle, it would be outstanding. But after that, he has to be back pretty much, and that's the situation. We just have to make sure we always find a way to line the team up, to give them an idea how we want to play, and we don't have to talk about that too much because we did that often enough now, but it must be clear that it all starts with a common defending idea, and that worked out somehow until now.
Jürgen, sticking with Diogo Jota, what are the qualities do you think he has that makes him such a special player? I know he's had an horrendous last 12 months with injuries, which has meant him being in and out of the team, but he's quite different, isn't he?
He's football brain. He's a very smart footballer, that's how it is. He understands the game particularly well. I really think Portugal is blessed with some of these kind of players who really understand the game on a different level, and he's one of them, definitely. Gives him just a chance to see situations slightly earlier, to adapt to different things the opponent is doing a little bit quicker. That's it. On top of that, he's both-footed and a great finisher. But I mean, I love the Thiago story. Now he's back, and I hope is back for the next 10 years and stuff like this, all of that. But Thiago missed chances as well, and that's how it is. And he comes back and scores with the first he has. It was fantastic. But then it's always a story. The others didn't score, and now he's coming back. Finally, Thiago is scoring. It's not about that. It's about creating. It's about coming in situations, and then they all can score. The goal from Darwin was an exceptional goal, and in a game where we obviously had a lot of possession, a lot of fantastic football moments. We needed to score. The goal we scored was from outside the box with the first touch in the far corner. I think probably the most difficult of all situations we had in the whole game. It was a super finish. And then, yes, late, Thiago closed the game is really good. But we need these boys. We need Thiago. And believe it or not, if you are a Liverpool player, you must be a pretty special player. Otherwise, you are not here. So easy as that. These boys have all their real qualities and always had. In the moment, for these last few games, even when the results were not always outstanding, we found a good rhythm. We had a good rhythm in the game, good fluidity, which is really important. Didn't get too often in a rush, and really played the way we wanted the boys to play, and that's helpful. It's just helpful because it gives you a good feeling in the game, which is really important. Like you would probably call it momentum. And for that, you need to be connected. You need to be together in the right moments. If you are connected, you can lose balls because you can win them back quickly and all these kind of things. So the rhythm was quite good recently.
Yeah, can I ask you, do you think it's time for the footballing authorities to be brave and look at the whole aspect of VAR, because it doesn't appear to be fit for purpose, and the thing that it was brought in for, it doesn't appear to be improving?
Oh, I really don't think that I should answer this question. You just not that you use me. I give you too often the opportunity to use my phrases, and then it's the things we discuss is not it's not interesting anymore. It's just Klopp said, and it doesn't help, and that's why I cannot.
It's not meant to be like that. I'm just,
but it will be used like that. We agree. What I say now is Klopp says, and the problem we all see every day, pretty much, whenever we watch a game, we think, okay, how is that possible? The 2 goals against us, for us, I say both legitimate goals, and all these kind of things. We can talk about on and on and on and on. We know it already. The authorities probably know it already. What do you mean with they have to be brave? What does it mean? What do you mean with brave? Oh my God, take VR away. No. Use VR better is probably the right thing. And I think it could be done.
Tom? Can you just confirm, is Monday Mo's last game before he goes?
Yes. Did you hear anything else?
No, it's right. I just want, because it's not a new situation for him to go to the African Nations, but because he's so consistently been in that position, have you had a long-term plan in mind for what to do when he's away, or is it literally just game by game, who's available, who's going to fit in there?
Each long-term plan I could have had depends massively on who is available. So why should I think in October who I can use when Mo is away, when I have no clue who is then available? So we have solutions in this. We would have today solutions, and I hope we have that after the Newcastle game as well. So it's not the first time. It's a really, at least very average situation that you lose your goal scorer, but we had it even worse in the past when Sadio and Mo left, and we came somehow through it. And traditionally one of them always went pretty far, at least in the tournament, which makes it then even worse. So, yeah, we have to get through this. So we knew that African Cup of Nations from time to time appear, and then more has to go. That was always clear. Now we have with Endo, a participant of the Asian Cup as well. So it's like it is. We knew it, and now we have to deal with it, and we will.
Yeah, you talk about having players available, Thiago and Stefan. Are they any chance then in January? Being back to the team?
I'm actually not 100% sure. So I think Thiago at one point will be in team training. With Stefan is if you ask Stefan how do we feel, he says good, and could you train? Yes, he could. It's just we have to be sensible. So that's how it is. It's a growing issue, it's not growing, but because of his growing and still that he's this age and stuff like this, so we just have to be careful. It's not, he could train today fully and then maybe tomorrow as well, and then not for 5 weeks. That's how it is. It's a medical decision. It's not by the boy, it's not by me. It's just that's how you have to do it if something like this happens, and that makes it so annoying for the boy. Thiago is actually in a very good moment as well. We just have to make sure that we don't use him then too early. The hip thing around that area, it's just a long-term thing as well. There were for sure days in where he could have easily trained, but it's all about how can he be back then in the long term, and that's what we are working on.
Welcome to you.
Till next time.
Welcome.